A philosopher once said, healing is a matter of time, but it is sometimes also a matter of opportunity. Speaking of opportunity, let me introduce you to an opportunity, Vixey's Healing Room. My name is Martina Odog, and today we are seated here in Vixey's Healing Room. Today, there's going to be a little twist where the host of Vixey's Healing Room will be the guest for today's episode. Vixey's Healing Room is a space where we explore the journey of healing, transformation, and growth. It is an honor today, a rare privilege, to introduce to you our very first guests of the episodes for Vixey's Healing Room. No other person than one who herself has gone through grief, pain, and healing, and is ready and willing to share these experiences with us with all joy. Today we welcome our very own guest, Ugo Eze Azubike.
Thank you, Martina, for doing this with me today. It's such a rare privilege to have the CEO of Martin Faces right here with me, doing this with me, taking the first episode with me. I'm so excited. I'm overjoyed, and I can't wait to see the results of what this whole healing journey is going to bring to people. Yes, Martina.
So we are here. Finally, we are here.
That day has come.
The day has come, and it's today.
Uh-huh.
Of course, you know, when we talk about this Vixey Healing Room, I know that there's a story behind it.
Yeah.
It's not just something that fell off the sky. I know there's a story that you want us to know. Can you tell us what's a personal journey, behind the whole thing, Vixey's Healing Room? How did we get here?
Yeah, I'm very happy to share my story today. And to be honest, it's going to be an emotional one because it is an emotional journey for me. It's a journey of pain, like deep pain, a journey of loss, and a journey of not just loss of a loved one, but loss I was losing myself to. And it's a journey of finding my way back.
Wow.
Okay, it's I'm not gonna use this in the past tense because I'm not where I want to be yet. This is still a work in progress. Okay.
So you say that you're ready and that you're comfortable
yes,
to do this?
I am comfortable.
Take a deep breath.
Ooh.
Let's do this.
Let's do this.
Yes,
okay, so I'd say this whole thing started in 2022. When my brother fell ill. Okay, so my brother was first diagnosed in January 2022, and he had to go through surgery. First of all, the diagnosis was something that hit us really hard. We didn't see it coming. It was a big blow for everybody, for him, for me, and for the rest of the family. It was a big blow. And then we started the journey.
Your only brother?
No, so I have 3 brothers, but this is the one after me. Okay, he's the first son of the family. Or he was I hate to talk about him in the past, but yes, it is what it is. He was the first son of my family. Okay, of the family, yeah. So we started this journey, hospital visits, trying to get solutions and all of that. And then he had to do surgery, So it was like a journey that I did with him. Like, I took this walk with him every step of the way. I was well involved and vested in it. Okay. So after surgery, everything seemed perfect. Everything seemed okay. We were happy, and he had continued to live his life. In fact, that young man has got to be the strongest person that I know, because in all of this, he's had a positive, outlook. You would not tell there was anything wrong with him. Okay, maybe there were changes in his physical appearance and all, but he was still a happy person. Okay, and he was still positive. He loved life. He wanted to live life. So you can now imagine our biggest and rudest shock. About 6 months down the line, about 7 to 8 months down the line, and they said
after the
surgery, when we had even fixed Thanksgiving. In fact, he fixed Thanksgiving on my birthday, because he said to me, "This is a way to say thank you for doing this with me, for taking this, for taking this walk with me, for being there." So it was such a rare privilege and great joy. And we all looked forward to the whole of the family looked forward to Thanksgiving. And sometime in September, he started to feel ill again. And we went back to the doctor, routine checkup, and yeah, the cancer was back. It was, in fact, let me talk about me now, because this is my story, yes. My personal story. Mm-hmm. I felt defeated. I felt deflated. I had lost hope. But I had to keep up. I had to wear a positive outlook to help the person who was involved and the rest of the family who were also looking at me. They look at my face, they look at my body language. They wanted to draw strength and hope from me. So it was a lot, so, we kept hope alive and we stayed positive, and things went from 100 to 20. And we're still hoping. I prayed like I'd never prayed before. It was, okay, I'm tearing up. It was,
take your time.
Yeah, so I prayed like I'd never prayed before. I begged God. And I looked at his wife, his young wife, and 3 children. I looked at my mother and my siblings. I looked at him, and I knew we could not lose him. I begged God to please spare his life. Please give us this testimony, But anyway, to cut the long story short, it was okay. It was such a huge fight, and I watched him pray, and he would tell me, "I don't want to die. I can't leave my wife and children." And watching him go through all of that pain, groaning in pain, and even still trying to be a man, when somebody who is used to being all macho, and all of a sudden people are assisting you, it's, I think it killed him before the real death came, and at that time, he needed to speak with all of us, just had conversations with us as if he knew what may be lying ahead or what was ahead. But anyway, he fought this fight gallantly, like a real man. And then on the 13th of December, we lost him. And I lost my dad when I was 19. For somebody who had lost a parent, I know I passed through pain and, the grief, but you cannot start to imagine what it was like losing my sibling. Somebody who I am older than. If we go by the law of nature or whatever it is, the younger ones should bury the older ones, okay? And I'd look forward to a life where we're 70, we're in our 70s, and all of my siblings are complete, you know. And having to lose my sibling shortly before he turned 40, because it was about 4 months before he turned 40, about 3 months before he turned 40. I didn't see it coming. It was such a huge blow. For my father, I had spent just 18 or 19 years of my life with him. But for my sibling, I grew up with this person. I had spent 30-something years. But you're not telling me anything here. It's a different kind of grief. It broke me. But I had to, just hang in there. So losing my sibling and going through the different stages of grief, I said to myself one day, there must be people who are going through something similar. And to be honest, I just thought about, so my nickname is Vixey, and I said to myself, so what would I do? What platform would I use to reach out to these people who are going through something similar as I am right now? And this thing came up, Vixey's Healing Room. So in going through my grief period, I had difficulties sleeping too. Yes, I had difficulties sleeping. So most times, I'm lying there, and then your word will just drop. They call that REMA, right? Well, your word drops, and I'm like, okay, pick up your journal, start to write. And that's where I started journaling. And then I started to, in fact, a friend came to visit me. She came up from Saudi Arabia. And she came to see me and condole with me. And she said, I brought you a gift. I said, okay. I was looking for one nicely wrapped, and she said, hold on. And she brought me a journal.
A journal? No way.
And she said, here, in this period, just keep writing. Just keep writing. However you feel it, put it in there.
Was that before the REMA or after?
Before the REMA.
Oh.
So when the REMA, I just grabbed my journal. I'm like, okay, you have a journal. That's all right. Right away. So I started to write, and that's when the name of the channel. I'm like, what platform? YouTube. Okay, channel. Okay. So I went to my YouTube account and I created a channel, Vixey's Healing Room, and I left it there. More than a year. I just left it there. At that time, I was empty. You can't pour from an empty cup. At that time, I didn't think I was ready to do this, to share my story or to inspire anyone. So yeah, I just created this and I just left it there. So yeah, that was when I started to think about Vixey's Healing Room.
Okay, I believe that in our conversation we'll go into details, if you don't mind.
It's okay, I'm happy to share. That's why we're here.
Okay, to share. But we'd like to know what role has this healing, played in your journey, and how you define healing in the context, of this channel, because healing could mean different things for different persons, but to you, what you're trying to, give out there, how can you define it?
So, healing in this context, I'm going to say my idea of healing and why I started this is the fact that you can sit down like this. You have healed. When you sit down like this, you can have this conversation. You can talk about it. It's difficult in the beginning. In fact, if you had come to me the last 1 year or 1 year ago, I'll be tearing up every 5 minutes. I will tear up. It wasn't something that I was ready to really speak about. Yeah, talk about what happened, but really sit down and inspire someone, and then you draw some hope and strength from me. I wasn't in that place, so you started to heal when you can talk about it.
Okay.
When you begin to look at life positively again.
Okay.
Because what grief does to you, grief breaks you.
Sure.
It breaks you. Sometimes the things that you ideally would find would be some kind of what's the word I'm looking for? Some things that you'd find you delight in doing. You don't want to do those things. You don't want to do those things. You're bitter. You're angry. Trust me, I was bitter. I was angry at some point, and at some point I took it out on people.
Okay.
So you've healed when you begin to look at life positively again. You're able to speak to somebody, to inspire someone. You found hope again. You begin to see the lights in all of that darkness that used to surround you. That's when you know that you have started to heal. Yeah, that's my idea of healing. You can now inspire somebody. You find you delight in the things that previously has appealed to you, and even more. You begin to take care of yourself. Self-care is very important here.
Sure.
Very, very. You have to love yourself first. You have to love yourself first.
Be able to.
You have to fill yourself up before you can feel others or inspire others. So healing starts when you see light in the darkness, when you see hope again, and when you start to look at life positively again.
Great. So this project, I believe that it didn't just come so easy. What are the challenges that you face launching this project?
Okay. So,
Don't laugh through that.
Because
there's something there.
The challenges, sometimes you find out that the drawbacks that it comes from you. It's inside of you.
Wow.
That's why I laughed.
Oh, wow.
So I remember that when I thought I was ready to start this, of course I had to tell my family about it, and I said to them, okay, so this is what I'm trying to do. I may have to share some personal, experiences and stories, just so you know, and then you know what to expect. And everybody, endorsed that. Right on, well done, good job. And then one day, after I had, listed the things that I needed to do at the fun time, my mother called me. No, I called her. And we're having a conversation, and she said, "Hell, this your YouTube channel. So I've seen the list of things that you need to do and the funds that you need to do this. How do you intend to do this? Is this something that's going to pay you?" And
Question.
And I said to her, "Mommy, so you know that this did not just come up. I struggled. Okay, when I told you I created this channel 1 year, I dumped it. I forgot about it. But I didn't have peace. It was as if God was speaking to me. And let me add that one of the things that helped me in my healing journey is that I decided to strengthen my relationship with God. Okay, so after my brother passed, I'm digressing a bit. Don't worry, I'll come back to your question, but they're linked somehow. So after my brother passed, I didn't realize that I was mad at my creator. Everything prayer. I'll just say my regular, some days I won't just pray. That fire, it just died. Because unconsciously, I had this mindset that God had failed me and my family. Because at some point, if you come to my house, there are different prayer, we're linked up to prayer channels and everybody's praying. Even my brother then. I don't even know. I felt like God had abandoned me. So when am I praying,
Wow.
So I remember that somebody came to the house and he said to me, Eugeo, if you're mad at God, I think you should tell him he's your father.
Yeah.
And you know what they say, you can't question God, And I said, no, it's okay. If you allowed it to happen, my sister is a liar. Please talk to your father and tell him how you feel.
Exactly.
No, you can't tell. When people come and when people come for condolence and they're telling you stuff, we can't question God. No, you can talk to God. You can ask him questions. He created you now. You have a relationship. He's your father. Exactly. Talk to him. So I felt like in prayer, I'm not, God protect me. I'm driving out. God will protect me, take me out, bring me back safely. I wasn't vested in prayer. So after a few months, I said to myself, what are you doing? What are you doing? You need to go back. In fact, it was Hallelujah Challenge, the first one for the year, last year. The day one, I didn't want to go. I'm like, okay, Hallelujah Challenge is something I love. Let me go fun. Day one, it was as if they opened it down.
Wow.
I cried like I didn't even. In fact, the tears that day, even the Dallas my brother, I'm not crying like that. I cried. Anger, everything. I just let it out. I cried. I was deeply pained. And I was crying. When you're crying, you're telling God, this is not what we signed for. You let me down. That was everything that I was saying as I was crying. Well, yes, I did a Hallelujah Challenge. Hallelujah! My healing started from that day because I felt lighter. It was as if emotions that I had locked up somewhere, I finally freed them. I was ready to start this journey. So, back to my conversation with my mother.
Yeah.
I said, that I've not had peace. So, this is like something that the Lord has put in my heart to do.
I see why you have to come back to that backstory.
So there was a backstory to it. I said, this is the reason God has asked me. The reason God has asked me to do this is to reach out to people. To be honest, I don't know how the funding is going to happen. But if God has put this in my heart to do, nights I'm done with praying in the night and I can't sleep. And actually Rema is dropping, And I said to her, Mom, I don't know, but somehow God is going to make a way. I said, I don't know about now. Maybe in the long run, maybe after 1 year, 2 years, maybe some points will start to come out of this. But right now, I'm on a mission of giving hope to the lost. So let me let God handle this. If He puts this in my heart to do, He will make a way. I said, okay. Well, I went back that evening. About my life. I'm like, wait, how are we going to fund this thing? How are we going to do this? And the Spirit said to me, that's the devil speaking to you. Fix your eyes on God. Believe He's going to make a way. Trust that He would make a way. He will make a way. So I just put it behind me. So once in a while, those things, can you do it? Are you sure? When I listen to other podcasts, and I'm like, are you sure?
It's not.
I like to speak. So I feel like I'm probably born to do this. Because sometimes I have dreams. If I can, early this year, in fact, it was early this year, I was telling a friend about, I'm like, I had a dream. And I was in a public place, speaking to people. But in that dream, it looked like I was married to a pastor. And I was having like a seminar. I swear. And she's like, Bobby Gio. I'm like, well, I don't know. But I sat in a place and I was talking to, this was before I it became the need to do this became really, really strong. And I said, I had a dream, and this dream did not come once or twice. And I'm talking to people, people are gathered, and I'm talking to them. And I wake up and I'm like, what's going on here? I'm like, I'm supposed to marry a pastor now. Which one now? What's going on here? Yeah. But as time went by, I understood what the dreams was all about.
What are some of the most important steps you took during your healing journey?
This is my healing journey. First of all, let me just say that I passed, where they say they have 5 to 7 stages of grief?
Yeah.
I'm sure I went through like 9 stages of grief. That's like 9 stages of, so, the beginning, the shock, the denial, and then the anger, and then you're bargaining, God,
Yes.
I went through all of those stages, and it didn't help that, in fact, I'll tell you that I took the wrong steps, in my healing journey. In the beginning, so after funeral and everything, when it dawns on you that this is your new reality, I was looking to others. I was looking to draw strength from other people. And I felt like the people closest to me had disappointed me. I felt like they had disappointed me. I felt like they didn't understand what I was going through, and they were not helping my healing process, So I remember that I had spoken to a cousin, one of my cousins who has also lost a sibling. And I said to Auntie, sorry, how do you handle this grief? She said, my darling, there is no manual to grieving. Every death is unique. Every death is unique. The way you grieve, different. The way person A grieves is different from the way person B would grieve. It's a whole lot different from the way person C and D would grieve. So as it comes to you, you deal with it. And I also remember listening to a podcast, Gia Pepper's podcast. She had Dr. Anita Phillips on one of the episodes, and she was talking about grief. And she said, you can't postpone grief.
Wow.
You need to grieve in real time.
To move on.
Yes, it helps you. Because if you postpone grief, it's waiting for you.
You have to.
It's waiting for you. So it's a longer time for you to heal. So as it hits you, grieve in real time. For me, I like to feel like I can save the world.
True.
I like to feel, I don't know if it's by some stroke of, I don't know, or the fact that I'm the first child and the first daughter, and a lot of responsibility lies on me. But I like to feel like I'm supposed to save the world. People should not go through, don't go through stress or pain, or, I want to help you, I want to make everything okay for you, And in doing this, you forget, it's easy for you to forget yourself. And that's what happened with me. So I'm thinking, my mother cannot see me cry. And when people come to condole with you, they say, stop crying, be strong. Your mother, look at your mother, be strong. Don't let anybody deceive you. If you've come to condole with somebody, please don't say anything. Just sit down. Your presence alone is enough. Don't put unnecessary pressure on people. People expected me to be strong. You have to be strong for your mother. Your mother cannot see you cry. Your siblings cannot see you cry. You need to be strong. You need to be... I'm a human being, first of all. I have emotions. I went through this thing from day one. It's a lot. So this was me trying to save the world.
Yeah.
Your mother cannot see you cry. Your siblings cannot see you cry. I go to work every day. I am all positive, you know, that positive outlook. I'm happy. I'm talking to people. I'm interacting with my friends. I'm posting memes on WhatsApp status. I'm making people laugh. They're laughing. I'm crying on my bed. Because I come back home and I'm crying. I go back in the night in the comfort of my room. I am crying. Because I had emotions. I needed to let it out somehow. But no, savior of the world. You know, they've given you this cape, this Spider-Man cape that you should wear. Superwoman. You know, if I'm one of my mom's friends, she calls me 10 men in one. She'll say Superwoman, 10 men in one. And I'm, you know, later I started to realize, I said to myself, you're taking the wrong steps. I was looking at people, trying to draw strength from them, wanting people to cut me slack, you know. But then I realized, I realized much later, when it was late, I had fallen apart. I was angry. I was bitter. I was losing myself. My job was suffering. You know, when you're struggling, you can't feel at this job. You can't feel. People are looking up. You can't feel. You know you're struggling. I wasn't in the right space. I was struggling. But I was trying to put up that, you know, I'm a strong woman. I can do this. I can do this. But I was losing myself, which reminds me of this poem that we read in secondary school, Richard Curry. Richard Curry was all put together. Everybody admired him. You know, when he came out of his house in the morning, people came out to their fences to say hello. They wanted to be like him. You know, he was rich. He had, you know, I'm sure. When I imagine it as, you know, some guy who had this poise, this, you know, when he walks is, you know. Then one cold night, he went back and put a bullet in his head. Richard Curry had issues, but people didn't know. They just saw this guy who had a positive outlook, you know, walking out, you know, he's waving. I want to be like him, you know. Sometimes I hear, you're a very strong woman, how do you do this? Oh, my strong woman was falling apart. They did not know. I wasn't strong. Some of the people around me felt that anger, felt that, you know, I had high expectations from people, and I felt like they had disappointed me. I felt like they didn't feel my pain or feel my grief. I felt like they were not there for me. You know, it was the longest, 2023 was the longest year of my life. It was the most painful year of my life. The emotions that I went through in that year, it was like back-to-back things were just happening. You know, when one thing happens, it was like, you know, it's like the pack of cards down, then you pull one from and then everything just comes crumbling, the deck of cards. Everything was falling apart for me. Everything. I think the height of everything was end of November. You know, it was supposed to be my birth month, 27th of November, for heaven's sake. It was supposed to be a happy day. My month ended on a very sad note. And I'm asking myself, it was after I asked myself, I'm like, God, why? I'm trying to heal. Why? I'm trying to be happy. What is going on? Like, who did I offend? If I've offended you, forgive me. But why is everything falling apart? Why is everything happening at the same time? And by December, I said to myself, enough. Enough of trying to be the strong person. Enough of trying to, enough of expecting people to be like you or to be you. Because I realized that it could be that they don't know how to be like me. Experience is the best teacher. You always hear that. It's true. If you haven't experienced something, you don't know how to navigate. Maybe they haven't lost somebody.
Yeah.
Maybe they're not sure how to react, how to behave towards you. Maybe they are empty themselves. You don't pour from an empty cup.
True.
And that was when I started to heal. By January, I told my family, I said, you guys, I'm sorry. 2024 is about me. It's about me. I love you all. I care about you. I'm not going to look the other way, but I'm going to focus on me.
Wow.
And that's what I did. Self-care.
Yes.
I mean, at that point, I'd gone through the depression, denial, the bargaining, the shock, everything. Acceptance and hope. And by December, I held God. You know how you just hold God like, I am not leaving you. Like, I started a new relationship with God. And it's a beautiful one.
Wow.
It is a beautiful one. Since I made up my mind to do that, it's been back to back. You know, like, I am beginning to see things that I did not see before. You know, the hope is, I don't want to use renewed hope, but yeah. But yes, the hope is renewed. You know, and I realized that healing became easy. It became easy. I stepped away from all of my triggers.
Okay.
I stepped away from all of my triggers. I used to have, if I had severe PTSD last year, I think about my brother. I would sit down and I'd hear his voice, the things that he used to say. I'd hear him groaning in pain. I'd hear him say, I don't want to die. Things were messing with my head. I was going mad. Things were messing with my head at every point. So when those things come, different emotions. I'm angry. I feel hopeless. I feel I feel lost. I feel depressed. I feel it was all shades. It's a horrible feeling. It is a horrible feeling. I do not wish that for an enemy. To be honest, I do not wish that for an enemy. So, 2024, my good journey began. Healing became easier for me. Like I said, I stepped away from my triggers. I had this relationship with God, and I was ready to explore. You know, I just saw light.
Things differently
in all of that darkness. I started to look at things differently. I learned to give people grace.
Wow.
I learned to give people grace. Maybe they don't know how to. Give them some grace. Don't hold it against them. Just let them be. I knew people to bring into my space and people to cut off from my space.
So these were the things you actually.
So these are the things that I did. I started to listen to podcasts.
Okay.
I was never a podcast person, like podcasts, you know. I started to listen to podcasts. And then some days I'm like, wow, you're talking to me. Like, this is my story.
Okay.
And I'm listening to, like I said, I'd listened to Anita Phillips, Dr. Anita Phillips, and when she was talking, I felt like, okay, this episode was made for you. I started to, you know, I listen and I'm learning. I'm like, so I should have done this. I didn't tackle it well. I should have done this. Postponing my grief and believing like everything was okay. Wasn't actually the right move. You know, grieve in real time. And then she said, emotions, when it comes, when the tears come, please cry.
Don't hold back.
Don't hold back. allow yourself some grace. Feel vulnerable if you have to. Well, in this part of the world where we come from, but everybody's wanting to macho. You can't
Show
be
the right side.
male, female. If you feel like crying, just cry. It helps. It releases something from inside of you, and it brings you healing. So me and tears now, 5 and 6, you push me at this stuff. This was the macho heart.
Yeah,
there's no heart. Heart is not there anymore. You can be firm and still be emotional. You can be firm yet emotional. Allow yourself some grace, like I said. When I feel like crying now, I'm not totally healed. I have a picture of my brother in my room.
The journey.
I wake up in the morning, I say hello, I talk to him. Now I can talk to him and smile and, and when I look at him and it hits me and I want to cry, or I remember some things, I cry. But I can tell you that I don't cry as often as I used to. Now I've learned to remember him with so much fondness and not the bitter memories.
Okay. So
I replace the bitter memories
to my next question.
Nice memories of him.
Yeah.
Sweet memories of him. Now with my siblings, I will talk about him and then we are laughing. And you're not going to believe that the person we're talking about here is late. But we've chosen to remember things that would make us laugh.
Okay. So were they like, because I cannot help but notice the writings, tattoos on you. So we don't want to like the physical things that you have
to I felt like
help your
early
journey.
last year, I felt like you need to remember your brother, so I got this. And here it has his name, Emmy. My brother's name was Emeka. And then this is infinity, forever, and the birds. And then this says nothing loved is ever lost. So it's his name, and then nothing loved is ever lost.
Did this help you in any way?
Yeah, it kind of reminded me that I felt like I was carrying him around with me everywhere I went. I'm not saying which country it is. This is a personal.
Like you said,
it's something personal to me, So I felt like I carry him around me everywhere I go to. I feel like he hasn't left me.
Wow, that's so sweet.
Yeah. So this is what this is about. This one, Elroy. Elroy is my God that sees me. I got this year. And it was when I started to heal. Because God sees me, He knows my heart. And I felt like God has started something in my life. Something different and something new. So I got Elroy. So these are the two physical ones that you can see.
Amazing. So for Vixey's healing room, what should we expect? The kind of topics you want to discuss,
We're going to be doing, we're going to talk about grief, lots of dear ones.
Yeah.
We're going to talk about, people talk about even the loss of a job. Anything that makes you
grief of loss of a lost one.
No. Real life experiences
pain
that
generally.
you think anybody is going to learn from.
Yeah.
That you think is going to bring some kind of hope. So this is about a platform that is for that's supposed to bring together people who have gone through loss of any kind, that have felt lost at some point in their lives, and would love to share their stories.
But tell me, what do you think viewers would take from this, from your personal stories, and in the same breath, what message will you give out to that person that is struggling with grief, with pain? Just a message for that person.
So, from my personal journey, I learned to allow myself some grace. Allow yourself some grace. Allow yourself some grace. Be kind to yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. Don't be too hard on yourself. At some point, I struggled with lots of things. Did I make the right decision for care? Did I was hard on myself. And it made it very hard for me. to step away from that dark place where I was. But I felt like, did I make the best decision? Did I have explored other options? What did we do? What did we do correctly? We have life. So yeah, allow yourself some grace. Do not postpone grief. Grieve in real time. But whilst you grieve, for whatever that you hold dear, for whatever divine, that you believe, I believe in God. Hold on to it. I held on to God. And God helped me. Yeah. That was one of the biggest decisions that I made in my journey through healing. It's okay to be sad. It's okay to feel pain. It's okay to feel anger at some point. But remember that there's light in all of that darkness. And you take steps. Self-care. Love yourself. Love yourself. When you allow yourself grace, you learn to love yourself. You learn to fill yourself up. So that you're able to inspire somebody who is going through what you have gone through or what you're going through. You're able to, talk to people, and then that person can find some kind of strength. So yes, be kind to yourself. Allow yourself some grace. Thank you so much. Grieve in real time, please. Grieve in real time. Do not postpone grief. If you do, it'll be there waiting for you. You come and carry it. You'll have to pass through it. Yeah. So yeah.
Thank you so much, because this means a
Thank
lot
you too.
to me that is listening to you speak, and I'm sure to others that will be listening to you. But tell me, what medium will this be aired? What channel?
So for now, we're doing YouTube. Okay. Maybe later we're going to think about putting it on Spotify.
Okay.
Put on Spotify. But right now, at least the first 1 to 5 episodes will be airing on YouTube.
So it's
Vixey's Healing Room. Please, if you're watching, as you watch, share the link. People need to key into this. They need to know. And please leave a comment for us at the bottom. We'd like to read from you. We'd like to hear what you feel, or how you feel. We'd like to know what impact this is having on you or somebody that you know. So share, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell so that when we drop a new episode, you are hearing and you're getting notified.
You have heard it all from Vixey Ugo Eze Azubike, who is the host of the Vixey Healing Room. We look forward to future episodes coming from her. Just stay tuned to this channel, and let's hope that you or someone else close to you will truly benefit and will be healed, in the process. Thank you.
So let me also add that.
Okay.
Mati, yes, she is the host for today's show. But let me also add that Mati is the CEO of Uplift with Mati.
Yeah.
And Uplift with Mati has this baby project where they do shop for free.
True.
I must tell you, she doesn't know, but I learned a lot from her. I'm inspired by what she's doing. Stay tuned. She may be a guest on the show. She'll be sharing her story with us soon.
Thank you so much. It was really awesome.
Thank you, Mati. Thank you.
I'm sure a lot of people will always
Thank you.
From this.
Are you sure?
I know how it is, how people can just speak, just talk about their thing, and somebody elsewhere is getting blessed, getting healed. And I just trust that God is going to use this medium to make this big, great blessing to people.
Amen. Thank you. See you all.